Hi there, this is Claudia with Whispers and Reverie, and this is my first YouTube video. I have recently gotten into junk journaling or story journaling, and one of the things that attracted me to it the most is coordinating the colors and having a story behind the creation so that I can just escape for a little bit from this crazy world and play with the colors and the textures and the patterns. And I want to share with you my first printable collection, which is called Primrose Cottage. And I'm going to flip through this journal so you can see the things that I have in here. Everything is in this story kit, except for a few items from the graphics fairy that are free, and she's so generous to have these on her site, so I definitely suggest checking that out. So I used a notebook from the dollar store and covered it in papers and some fabric embellishment here. I made a little beaded area with the key. Maybe it's the key to the cottage. Maybe it's a key to a little trunk. Of course, some roses and flowers. The color palette is creams, neutrals, yellows, and pretty greens, and some elements of sepia and black for a little pop contrast. So here's the back. This is an old doily. I fed the ribbon piece, this old ribbon piece, through the doily here because I didn't like the way it kept falling off when you opened it. So now it's, especially with these pieces, so I attached it. And here's a look at the spine. You can see it's not huge, but it is a little chunky and ripply, which I like. And at first I thought about doing this video with no talking, but then I thought I really want to talk about the pieces. And I found some old velvet ribbon, and mostly I look at thrift stores and estate sales and just pick up little scraps of things. So this is the first page, and there's Primrose Cottage. What a great place to visit, right? And I have a little story written up on the Etsy page, but you can create your own story, of course. Here's a picture that might have been the living room. I love the floral chintz on the chairs and that gold mirror. Here's a picture of a lady in the garden, relaxing. These are papers. I actually really enjoy doing this. I just buy instant coffee, the cheapest you can find, and I actually don't even boil the water. I just mix a spoonful of instant coffee in a cup and then brush it on the paper and let it dry on the kitchen counter, and it gets all crinkly, and it does that all on its own. You just brush it on there. Here's a little floor plan of maybe what the cottage layout looked like. Some printable paper that I also put a little bit of tea or coffee dye on just to make it a little ripply. This is also in the kit, this sheet of writing paper, so there's some journaling space here, or room to add your own pictures, and some lace, another card for journaling, keeping memories. This one's really cute little image. And I made a little fan out of paper. I'm finding like I really like to play with the paper, so I'm gonna start doing that on my next one more, is just kind of make little extra pieces that are texture. This is a page, these are pages in the printable kit, and I cut out the piece here and coffee dyed it around the edge to make like a little photo frame for this cute little girl with braids. Maybe she's the one visiting her grandmother's cottage. And a little piece of fabric. And then over here, this was a dress idea that maybe she was going to wear if there was a garden party. Got a little place for journaling right here. A piece of yellow velvet ribbon. This is older, but so pretty. And then I've got these little vintage buttons I found. So small, but maybe they'd be on the back of this dress, is what I was thinking. This was, is a piece of white, just regular paper that I found a stencil at the thrift store. And I decided to try my watercolors with it. And I really like the way it turned out. And just doing these different shades of garden green that I love. And this is from the printable kit too. I just cut out the rose, put a little piece of lace. There's, sorry, I'm a little sniffly today. This is maybe the lady of the house or one of the ladies that visited the house, but Primrose Cottage definitely had a cat, and that probably will be a reoccurring theme in my little books. This is in the kit too, little faux vintage letter and more journaling space. I made this with watercolor and kind of ripped the paper. Old music sheet from the thrift store. These are all in the printable kit. The swans that might have been on the little pond on the property. I love the touches of the little butterflies or little flowers just to add a little bit of depth and color pops. So for me, it's all about the color palette. I love, you know, I'm really into here in this book working with the greens and the yellows. And there's a little cat. He's kind of ignoring you, but he wants you to pet him, I'm sure. More journaling space. Again, watercolors on plain white paper, but really just kind of letting loose on it. Just really easy to do. More from the printable kit. I made a little tag here and writing space on the back. This is the center, and this is how I attached everything together in the book. Tea, coffee dyed paper doily. More journaling space with a little butterfly. Some lace, like lace pocket. More journaling space. Butterfly and music and more journaling space. A little quote. I think this is the only quote I put in the book. I shall take my tea with the birds, the trees, and the bumblebees. And then this is a little tag that comes off with space, but just to add a little pop of color. The vase, more journaling space on the back of here. Here's the family, all the girls and their grandma, they're all getting together having tea. Maybe these are some of their teacups. Maybe this was a vase that was in the dining room. More of that handmade stenciled paper. This was an old piece of sewing, crafting item from an estate sale with little velvet leaves, and how could I resist that? Little envelope from the kit, pocket, more journaling space. There she is working in the garden. And another tag. So it's full, but not too full. There's room for adding more. More photos of the house. The wall with the flowers tumbling over it. The front door, so charming. Always a house. I love houses. And then a pretty little card that they might have gotten. Space to write here and here. More journaling space with a little tag that says, "Forget me not." And then this opens up, so more writing space here and here. And then a pretty envelope at the back that opens up, and this envelope had the yellow and white stripe on it, so then I just knew we had to use it, but this was more of a light blue, so I painted it green and then added some wording from the printable kit on the seams. And this is a pull-out little advertisement card, but more journaling space. So I hope that you found this inspiring, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I hope you will like and follow and check out the printable on my Etsy page. It's a digital that you download and print out, and then you can make these and put them together. It's really fun. Thanks for watching.